Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really cool way to achieve your goals. It's a method designed for people who can't just picture success. We're talking about architecting your intent. You know, building a real blueprint for your future, even if you can't see it in your mind's eye.
You've heard this a million times, right? It's pretty much the first piece of advice in every self-help book out there. Just imagine the car, picture the job, see the achievement. But what if you can't? What if your mind just doesn't make pictures on command? What are you supposed to do then?
And that brings us right to the core of the problem we're tackling today, the visualization barrier. You see, for a whole lot of people, that advice to just picture it isn't just a little unhelpful, it's a massive roadblock.
So there's actually a clinical term for this, aphantasia. It basically means that your mind's eye is, for lack of a better word, blind. So when someone with aphantasia tries to picture an apple, they know exactly what an apple is, they can describe it to you perfectly, but they don't actually see a picture of it in their head. And you can imagine this makes all those traditional visualization techniques, well, completely useless. Okay, so if that whole visual route is a dead end, how in the world do you manifest a goal that you literally can't see? Well, the idea we're digging into today suggests a really powerful alternative. Instead of trying to see the goal, you have to learn how to feel it.
All right, so let's explore this other path, manifesting with feeling. This approach flips the script entirely. It shifts the focus away from trying to create some internal picture and instead zooms in on cultivating an internal sensation, a really clear feeling of what achieving your goal will actually be like.
The core concept here is feeling and resonance. Instead of picturing a future outcome, the idea is to define that deep internal feeling that the outcome is supposed to create for you. You're aiming for a state that just resonates with who you are. It's a huge shift, right? From an outside image to an inside state of being.
Now, what I love about this slide is how clearly it lays out the difference. The visual approach is all about the object, the shiny new car, the big corner office, but the resonance approach asks a way deeper question. Why do you want that car? Maybe it's not really about the car at all, but about the feeling of freedom it gives you. And that feeling, that's the real target.
And here it is. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, knowing you want to feel fulfilled or accomplished is great, it's powerful, but it's not exactly a to-do list. It's this beautiful abstract desire, and there's a huge gap between feeling something and having a concrete, actionable plan to get there.
This is where things get really interesting and, well, very modern. What if you could take that abstract feeling and use a tool to basically reverse engineer a practical blueprint to make it real?
Okay, so let's dive into this because it's a wild idea. The proposal is to use artificial intelligence as a kind of translator, or maybe even better, an architect for your own intent. You give it the what, that core feeling you're chasing, and it helps you build the how.
Think of it like this. AI is just exceptionally good at finding patterns and creating structure. So you can feed it this kind of messy, unstructured, abstract concept like, say, the feeling of creative fulfillment, and it can actually help you break that down into skills you need to learn, actions you can take, and milestones you can hit.
So, how does this actually work in practice? Let's break down the process of how you can use AI to turn an abstract feeling into something you can actually do.
So here's the basic framework. First, you do the human part, the part only you can do. You figure out and articulate that core feeling, that resonance you're aiming for. Then you bring in an AI as sort of a creative partner to brainstorm what real-world goals might connect to that feeling. After that, you refine those ideas, and finally, you have the AI help you structure it all into a real step-by-step plan.
This quote from the source material just nails it, doesn't it? The whole point is to ground these abstract entities into tangible plans. And that's really the magic here. It doesn't treat your feelings as these vague, fuzzy wishes. No, it treats them as the foundational material, the bedrock for building a real, actionable strategy.
So why is this such a big deal? Well, this isn't just some clever trick for people with aphantasia. This way of thinking empowers a whole group of non-visual thinkers. But beyond that, it helps create these intensely personalized action plans that merge our very unique human intuition with the crazy powerful logic of AI. It gives all of us a brand new toolkit for going after our goals.
And that leaves us with a pretty provocative thought to chew on. As these tools get smarter and more sophisticated, they can help us architect not just our careers or our projects, but our very states of being. If you can define a feeling, you might just be able to build a life that actually creates it. So the only question left is, what will you choose to build?